How you doing? This is Brad Korn with SEMO Men's Basketball. You're listening to The Barn.
Hi, and welcome to The Barn, live from The Barn studio. You got the Mox and Chuck here. And Chuck, we are joined by the hottest man in town right now.
Yeah, he don't ever have to pay for a drink again.
No. Coach Brad Korn from the SEMO Redhawks men's basketball team. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
First question is, did you get any sleep last night?
Yeah, at some point, once the name pops up, who you're playing, you actually get to the game plan and start figuring everything out. You got to wait to see when the plane is going to come and get you and itinerary for the next day and everything else like that. So trying to pack, and then you're packing, since we're going to Dayton, you're packing for 6 days and everything else. So it's a whirlwind, but I tell you what, it's pretty exciting. These are all, every issue or quote unquote problem we have is a good one. That's for sure.
And I'll definitely tell you this. I was at the Pilot House for some wings down there in Cape Girardeau. You guys' win the other day, and it's the talk of the town. What does this mean for the community?
I think it's huge. We've been wanting basketball to do well here for so long, and it's been here. It's been kind of bubbling. Everybody could see it underneath the surface. And so to finally have kind of that moment, that breakthrough moment, if you will, is just everybody needed it. Our players put in a ton of work, our staff, but I think the region just wanted to feel good. I think the region wanted to be able to pound their chest a little bit and wear their SEMO gear with a little bit more pride. And I think we had a hand in that. And the way the people showed up yesterday to the selection show party and watch party was really tremendous. The vibe and the feel and the way it was all done, the production of it all was very high level. And I think it's moments and memories that our guys will have forever.
Yeah, and we were able to see you on a national spotlight, obviously. With ESPN Plus, that's an app and a service that I love. Do you think that helps get some of the exposure out there where they're, fans across the country are able to see you guys play?
Yeah, I think it's a very positive thing because you can go back. The other day I was in my basement. I could just pull the game up and watch. But what it does is more so for the people that are not in the region or in the area they're familiar or connected to the area. So if you got people in St. Louis, Florida, Wyoming, wherever the case may be, they can stay connected to the program. It just a little bit of it is concerning just from the standpoint of now you hope people don't just stay at home because it is so easy. And I think that we had fans coming in all throughout the season as we slowly built it. And I think that's going to continue for us. So I think it's a great way for people outside of the region to stay connected to the program.
We are so excited to watch you guys in the tournament, but let's go back a couple days now. OVC champions, 4 games in 4 days. A lot of guys stepped up throughout that tournament, but we have to talk about that last game. That was a wild one.
Unreal.
Yeah, that was, I've seen it in a lot of these interviews. That just was the epitome of March Madness. Just was, we're up 7 with a minute 11 left. It's looking like the game is over if we just take care of the basketball. And I don't think pressure or anything like that, but just the things happen in March. Crazy things happen.
Right.
Turn it over. They hit an unbelievable shot. Is it a 3? Is it a 2? And you couldn't have scripted a March Madness first ticket punch type game off any better. And then for our guy, we're down 4 in overtime, guys, and it's not looking good. And, give our kids a ton of credit for hanging in there and showing the grit and the perseverance to battle through. And just an unbelievable moment, unbelievable game. And just there was 12 seconds left. I think we're up 6 or 7, whatever it was. And I'm still yelling at our guys to get back because until that buzzer went off, I wasn't going to believe it, just the way that game was going.
So we have to talk about the shot. Did you have a good vantage point from where you were? I kind of saw the video where you were pretty close to the score table. Were you automatically able to tell that it was a 2, or did you think it was a 3?
No, I was one of the only guys in the gym, I think, that thought it was a 2 just from where he caught the ball. I could tell when he caught it that he was inside the 3-point line. So it wasn't until after the fact, everyone's going crazy and rightfully so, and our guys are distraught and a couple guys are actually even crying. And I was just like, what are you guys doing? Let's go. We got to go to overtime. It's a tie ball game. It wasn't until I looked over and saw the monitor how close his foot actually was to the 3-point line. And that's really when the first time, my heart dropped. It's like, you got to be kidding. We might have just lost this game. But after further review and just seeing the replay one more time, I was like, okay, he's definitely on the line. But just to get the guys recalibrated, get focused back, because they thought we lost the game.
How do you rally your guys at that point? Do your leaders step up? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're pretty vocal about it and your other coaches are, but how do you rally your guys at that point?
Yeah, really in that moment, I give a ton of credit to Dylan Branson. He was kind of the guy that stood up. Like I said, there were a couple guys, literal tears in their eyes. And Dylan stood up in the huddle and just said, hey, we got 5 minutes to never have to feel this way again. So let's change it. Let's not have this feeling. Let's not have these tears in this moment of that we're completely distraught. And so I give him a ton of credit. And Chris Harris stepped up right after that. And all the guys really just started to rally behind that. And those are the moments that you need. Coaches can say everything and do everything they want, but when your players stand up and take ownership of that, that's when you really got something. And I give Dylan Branson a ton of credit for stepping up in that moment.
You played for the Salukis under Bruce Weber and then Matt Painter, which is just crazy back to back. Did either of those guys call you whenever you tell you anything about the tournament, what to expect or anything?
No, not really anything to expect. Coach Painter texted and Coach Weber, he called and texted. I talked to him, so I stayed in contact with those guys. But it's hard to put into words what it means. And it's different for each guy, different for each team, and those guys have been so instrumental in just the way that who they are as people, especially Coach Weber, just who he is as a man and the things that he's done, the way a lot of stuff that we've done leading up to this and even when we clinched and won the championship game is just a lot of it has been what he did for us when I was a player for him. Just the way he treats everybody and the way he treated us as players, it always felt like a player's program, and that's what we try to do here.
You almost have to leave that situation as wanting to coach. My gosh, that's insane. Those two back to back.
Yeah, those guys have done so much for the game of basketball, and just again, the thing I remember the most is just the experiences, and just when you have the experiences that I have, that's what I just try to give back to the guys here, and it's really because of those guys and the other coaches, Chris Lowry and Rodney Watson, just the way that they coached us. They coached us hard. They treated us right. They told us the truth. They drove us hard, and then you look back, it's like, wow, yeah, that's no wonder why.
Being a part of those programs, and I think this is like your 10th or 11th time being in the tournament, either as a player or as a coach, do those experiences help you prepare your guys to play in the tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't take any of them for granted. This is number 11, and that's just wild to even think of it on the surface of itself. And I don't take any of those things for granted, but I just looking back on it and the time at K-State, we actually played in the first four at K-State, played in Dayton, so I've got actually some experience in that. And I think the main thing for the guys, too, is just to understand just how long these games are. These games are a little bit longer. There's more media timeouts. The media timeouts are longer, and, your adrenaline is running on, the OVC tournament, your adrenaline's running on 10. The NCAA tournament, your adrenaline's going to be running on 12. So it's just being able to manage the emotions and just understanding that it's a long, long basketball game and to not get too high, too low. And at the end of the day, when the ball goes up in the air, you get to go do what you have always done and what and that's to just play basketball. And so getting some of the stuff out of their way today as far as the bright lights and the media and all that type of stuff, that'll be a great experience for them today. And then when we get to the game tomorrow, it's just going to be try to keep them focused on, hey, this is a game of basketball that you guys have all done and played before, so just stick with that.
So can you walk us through the next couple of days and what that looks like for you guys? You're heading out this morning or this early afternoon?
Yeah, we're actually at the airport. We're going to head out here in the next hour or so and get right to Dayton, get checked into the hotel, and we've got slotted times for media and practice, and then we'll get a good dinner and scout report, film, walkthroughs, all that type of stuff. And it's game on tomorrow at 6:30 or 6:47, one of those weird NCAA times are. But
right.
And it's game time. It's here. We're ready to roll. So it'll be pretty quick, but it'll be a great experience for our guys.
With that quick of a turnaround, do you think it actually helps you? I know you would obviously like to prepare a little bit more, have more time to prepare, but with it being a quick turnaround, do you think that helps your players?
I think it does, and we're somewhat of an older group, and just with the experience of the Evansville tournament, 4 games in 4 days, like we're not going to need. We had a great practice yesterday, so again, I think the main thing is our guys in the right mental space. And I think they're there. And so I'm not as concerned as much about the quick turnaround because, again, this is March. Every team is good. It's survive and advance, and there's not a whole lot more. At this point, words are words. You got to go put some action behind everything, and I think our guys will be ready for that. So I'm not as concerned as you normally would be, especially just with what we were able to do with Evansville.
What do we have for the media? Do we have like a 100-year-old nun or a cool nickname like Dunk City? We need something when you guys go on a run. They all have that.
You know what? I think that stuff all kind of happens organically. So we'll see what. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll leave it up to social media, and there's a lot of people a lot smarter than me that can come up with some of those catchy things. So hopefully we give people a reason to call us something.
Couple more, Coach, and we'll let you get on your way. What do we know about Texas A&M-Corpus Christi?
I'm actually familiar with their head coach. He does a great job. We've known each other through the business over the years, and back-to-back champions, 20-game winners. They've got good guard play. They've got a big guy that averages a double-double. They have great percentages from three. They assist the ball. They score the ball. They're tough initially in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock defensively. So it'll be a good test. It's going to be a good basketball game. We're actually somewhat similar in a lot of ways. So it's going to be a very interesting game.
We're looking forward to it, Coach. We are rooting the Southeast Redhawks on. We can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Coach Brad Korn from the SEMO Redhawks, we appreciate your time today and good luck.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.